Hi everyone, my name is Shannon Donahue and I am your student's AP Human Geography teacher for the 2020-2021 school year. Welcome to Open House. A little bit about myself. I attended the University of Iowa where I got my bachelor's in history in secondary education, and then I went on to National Louis University to get my master's in curriculum and instruction. My teaching background, I have taught at a couple different schools in the area, doing temporary or part-time positions, Hinsdale South, Hinsdale Central, Glenbard West, before I was able to get a permanent position here at LT. This is my 5th year teaching at Lyons Township. This will be my 3rd year teaching AP Human Geography. And on top of teaching, I also am part of the girls volleyball program. I coach at the freshman level there. So fingers crossed that we can have a season a little bit further down the road. As far as what human geography is, the big question we ask ourselves is, why are things where they are and why are people where they are doing what they're doing? If you look at a history course, for example, the big question is, when did something happen and why? In geography, we look at where is something happening and why is it happening there. So you can see a couple of the different topics that we're going to be covering in this course, things such as, consequences of population growth, ethnic and political struggles. We will also look at, the languages that different areas speak around the world, the religions that people practice, and really asking ourselves, why are those things happening in those particular places? Here we have a quick unit layout. There are 7 units throughout the entire year. And during each unit, students will complete a content application, which is basically a project where they're going to take whatever they've learned in class, that content, and try to apply it to their own lives. They will also take a multiple choice exam at the end of each unit, as well as a free response question or an FRQ, kind of like an essay. These are going to be the bulk of their summative grades, meaning this is what's going to make up their overall course grade. So speaking a little bit more on grading policy, 100% of their course grade is going to come from those summative assessments at the end of the unit. We are going to do tons of formative practice leading up to that throughout the unit, and students will still get graded on that formative practice and receive feedback from me. You will also see that formative practice in Infinite Campus, but those grades just aren't factored or calculated into their overall grade. And then at the end of the units, they will have those summative assessments, and those are going to be what is factored into their overall grade for the course. The good news is they do have the opportunity to correct and make up some of those summative assessments. And so as long as students have completed all of the formative work leading up to those summative assessments, and they have then done, the relearning necessary or the corrections necessary to that first summative assessment, then they will have the opportunity to replace that grade if they do want to. This is an AP course standing for Advanced Placement. So it is technically a college level course created by the College Board, but it is obviously taught with the understanding that these are freshmen in high school, so things are slowed down a little bit to their level. As far as other things on the syllabus there, we obviously do encourage students to self-advocate for themselves if they are struggling, if they have a question. We don't want them to be anxious or nervous about reaching out for help when they need it. That's what we're here for. And so we really do want them to be the ones communicating if they do find themselves, questioning or struggling at any point, and communicating even if it's something as simple as, they need to leave class early for a dentist appointment or they're going to be absent. We really do want students to be the ones communicating with their teachers on those things. A few other course expectations. We do, want students to come to class prepared. A bulk of the work that is outside of class time is simply reading and note-taking and keeping up with that. And so we do try and put students on a schedule where they have done the reading prior to the class that we are going to be discussing those specific topics so that we can answer any questions and kind of reinforce that material. And on top of that, we obviously want them to participate respectfully. This is a discussion-based course, and we do talk about some pretty heavy and mature topics. And so we just encourage students to be respectful of differing opinions and accepting of those things. And on that note, we are going to, be in this remote setting for the time being. And so we do want students to be as focused as possible to try and recreate that classroom experience. We're trying to encourage students to eliminate those distractions that they may have at home and, really try to put themselves in a situation where they can focus on their schoolwork. There's some remote learning adaptations that I've made. The College Board themselves has released several new resources that are available to both students and teachers during this, e-learning time. And so those have been very helpful, and I hope that those can help kind of fill in any gaps that may occur due to the remote setting. And obviously I'll try to utilize technology as much as I can and encourage students to interact with each other and really try and build those relationships. As far as the AP exam goes, the AP exam is at the end of the year. This year it's on May 4th. It's not required for students to take the AP exam. Most students who are enrolled in the course do take the exam at the end of the year, but this test is written, created, administered, and graded all by the College Board. So I have nothing to do with this exam. My job is to simply prepare them the best that I can during our class time for that test. All materials will be uploaded onto Canvas. Hopefully students have figured out kind of how to navigate and find everything at this point. But any slides I use, worksheets, PowerPoints, videos, all of those will be uploaded onto Canvas so that they can have access to those at any time. Grades will be entered into Infinite Campus, and so I update those weekly. And then a majority of the class, as I mentioned before, or a majority of the work outside of class is primarily staying on top of their reading and note-taking. And so with this being an AP class, especially in a remote setting, there is going to be a certain level of, self-discipline and self-motivation necessary to make sure that they are kind of staying on top of those, the reading outside of work and kind of making sure that they're meeting those deadlines. I wish that we could be together in person. Obviously, I can't wait to meet your students in person. But until then, I hope that this was able to answer a couple questions and give you a glimpse into the course and kind of what your students are going to be working on as we meet remotely through Zoom. If you do have any questions, concerns, if you need to or want to set up a Zoom meeting, perhaps, my email is there on the screen again. And so please do not hesitate to reach out. I am more than happy to do what I can to make this transition while we're in e-learning as easy as possible. Thank you so much.